What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Two Friends Fighting. Once again, I am Jackson.
And I am Robbie. Welcome, guys.
As you can see, we are once again filming virtually. Still in the midst of a stay-at-home order, so we're trying to do the best that we can to stay safe and sound and, stay legal at this point, right, Robbie?
Yeah, we're on, I want to say week 3 of this stay-at-home order.
Yeah.
Happy February. As of today, we've made it through the first month of 2021.
Yeah.
Somewhat unscathed. So hang in there, I guess.
Yeah, but I find that there's a lot to talk about these days. Well, first and foremost, we have the Super Bowl coming up this weekend on Sunday. So we're going to get a little bit into that. Neither one of us are too big of football fans, but we will get into that a little bit. The Super Bowl is just it's a big sporting event.
How big of nacho fans are you then?
That's mainly what it is. It's the Super Bowl food fan that's what drags us in, eh, Robbie?
Nachos or cocktail weenies?
Ooh, I gotta go with nachos on that one. But that's just because I don't need the Super Bowl as an excuse.
That surprises me that Robbie didn't pick the cocktail weenies.
Yeah, that would have been sus.
Don't get me wrong, I love my hot dogs, but you can never go out with nachos.
Yeah.
Beer and nachos, football. I don't even need football in that scenario.
Yeah.
Hey,
so we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. We're also going to be talking about something that you watched this weekend. I caught a little bit of it, and that was a Glory event, an actual kickboxing event. Now, we're going to talk about the popularity of that. We're going to get into that as well, and why maybe Glory and kickboxing in general is not as popular as something like the UFC and MMA. So we'll get into that. And then I also have something that I would like to talk about that I just started watching, and it is Alice in Borderland on Netflix. If you haven't started watching this show, it's a must watch. It's in Japanese, I believe, or is it Japanese?
Yeah, Japanese.
It's in Japanese. So
don't watch the dub.
Yeah, I would definitely advise you don't watch it dubbed. Put it on subtitles. Use the original actors' voices. And we'll get into Alice in Borderland as well. Right now, I'm only on episode... I've just finished watching episode 4, so I can say so far this is an excellent show. It might. I don't know if it goes downhill or not, but I'm loving where it's at right now. It's on Netflix too, so we won't get into any spoilers either for those of you who haven't watched it. We're just going to talk about the quality of the show. But first things first, Robbie, we were talking a little bit about the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yep.
Super Bowl coming up is going to be Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. Are you familiar with either of these quarterbacks? I'm sure you're familiar with Tom Brady.
I think Tom Brady is definitely one of those people who's his fame has transcended his sport. Because even if you're like me and don't watch football, you know exactly who Tom Brady is.
Tom Brady did it.
He's like the Michael Jordan of football, basically.
He did it. I had no hopes for him to do well on that new team, but he did it. Because that team sucked.
If you watch any of the analysts talk about Tom Brady's chances ahead of time, here, let's break it down for some of the people that are not necessarily familiar. Tom Brady, already before this season, the greatest quarterback of all time, the greatest football player of all time. Most would say. He leaves his New England Patriots that he had been with for such a long time, right? He's teamed up with Bill Belichick, supposedly the greatest coach of all time, right?
Yeah.
Moves to a new team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that in their history they have not performed very well. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they've been known to be called the Tampa Bay Succaneers because they're garbage. They're not a good team. He goes to their team and he takes them to the Super Bowl. What happened to the Patriots this season? These guys didn't even make the playoffs with Bill Belichick as their coach. So this guy is, 43 years old, Tom Brady, and he's already won 6 Super Bowls. and he's been to I believe 10, or this might be his 10th, something like that, something crazy like along those numbers. You know what I mean? Like those numbers are crazy. He's 43.
He's definitely one of those guys who's been able to like defy the test of time 100% and keep competing at the highest level and bringing teams to championships. And it goes back to, we talked about this a little while ago, like Michael Jordan's documentary, The Last Dance.
Yeah. How
he brought the Bulls from being a shitty team to a championship team. Tom Brady is doing that same thing with whatever team he goes to. Yeah. And even the Buccaneers, who literally were called the Succaneers, right? That's pretty wild. Yeah. It goes to show like what one person can do.
You know what's funny about the release timing of The Last Dance, the documentary? Just when people were starting to forget about old Michael Jordan, right? When people the talk was starting to switch to, LeBron James is the GOAT. Michael Jordan's got to drop an excellent documentary about how great he was, right? Like just to remind everybody, like, no, you guys are forgetting because it was many years ago. You guys are forgetting who the actual best of all time is.
Yeah, it was good. It was good timing, but I'm super curious about because I haven't been following the rules about COVID restrictions for sports in the States. So I'm curious. Maybe you learn more about this because I know certain states in the U.S. are just saying like, fuck it, fill the stadiums. I think they're in Kansas City for Super Bowl. What are the
no, they're going to be in Tampa Bay. They're at Tom Brady's at home, Tampa Bay, so they're going to be in Florida.
Oh, right, my bad.
And I think Florida
is Florida, so they're filling.
I think Florida is one of like the more loose states around like COVID restrictions. I think that stadium is going to be pretty full.
Yeah, I follow some people from Florida on Instagram, like coaches and fighters, and they're going out for drinks and bars. Their gyms are packed full of people. No one's wearing masks. I don't know what the numbers are out there, but everyone seems to be doing fine. So it's kind of crazy to see.
Yeah. With regard to the actual game, so we have Tom Brady's Buccaneers against Patrick Mahomes' 49ers. Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm wondering, do you have a prediction for that game at all? Do you even like know enough about football to make a prediction, or we're just like armchair like football watchers, and we're really in there for the snacks and the beer?
Yeah, for me, if I ever watch the Super Bowl, it's like the same reason why I watch the Olympics, right? It's just a big event. It's like me watching the World Cup. I never watch soccer until this event happens, right? It's mostly a chance for me to like get together with people, shoot the shit. I mean, we can't do that this year, so who knows? I might not even watch it. But so with my limited experience in football, I'd probably pick Tom Brady's team.
Just for the hype factor, I also want to go Tom Brady. I'm going for the hype. My dad's a big Tom Brady fan. I can't choose against the will of the patriarch of the family. But I'm curious, what is the go-to snack on the Super Bowl? What are some must-haves? What are you looking forward to this weekend?
For me, if I watch any sort of like sporting event, it's there's always got to be beer. I'm a basic white boy. Gotta have my beers. Doesn't really matter what kind of beer it is. But I think there's something to be said about like football and nachos. I agree with what Jameson said earlier. Like if I'm watching fights, for example, like I don't really care beer and wings, beer and pizza, whatever. But there's something about football that says you gotta have some nachos. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's some marketing thing they did years ago that's ingrained into us as a society. But I think in like what's the word? Nachos with like some ground up meats in there and a lot of sauce.
It's the marketing. It's all marketing. Nachos have these.
What do you call it? Sauce? Salsa, dog.
Let salsa, the basic white boy call the salsa sauce.
I'm actually not a fan of salsa on my nachos.
Oh, he's got the old El Paso friggin'.
What do you put on it? Barbecue sauce?
Actually, sour cream. I love nachos and sour cream.
Classic white guy.
You have no salsa, just sour
cream? There's no red, there's no red on your nachos?
Red on there?
Oh, there'll be some there. I just want to eat that much of it, right? I won't like dip my nachos in the salsa to get extra, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to dip nachos though, right? Like you kind of have to stack it up how you want it. Because once it's got the cheese on it, you can't go dipping like your cheesy, sour, creamy nacho into the salsa.
I don't want any white cream on mine.
Yeah, I don't want the white cream.
Personally, I don't like.
You guys are both like that. Cream. Anything white is just like.
No, I'm not against the white cream, but it's just a sour cream.
I don't like it
for me.
Yeah. But, so I think nachos is a good pick. Nachos and beer, obviously, that's commonly a go-to. That's probably what we'll end up eating is some nachos. Maybe some pizza. Just some delivery pizza. Easy, quick.
Always works.
Problem is that sometimes the pizza guys are busy, right? Like there's probably a lot of orders on or around the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially now with like
the barbecue. Get some barbecue.
Ooh, some barbecue ribs.
Barbecue.
Some southern ribs.
Some pulled pork sandwiches.
Pulled pork sandwiches.
With the side of nachos. Maybe a little bit of McDicks. Just
McDonald's.
For the ride.
For those of you who don't know Jameson's slang term, it's McDonald's.
Yeah, but I mean.
What's the go-to McDonald's?
The go-to McDonald's for me, it's junior chicken.
Okay.
I get like 2 junior chickens, maybe some fries, and I've just been on to
some fries. That's a definite.
I don't know. It depends if you're like on the go.
Yeah.
And then I just been put on to McDonald's Sprite. Apparently that hit different. Dude, it's a meme.
Sprite for sure.
No, it's the fountain. I don't know. McDonald's Sprite apparently hit different.
Have you guys seen these like fountain dispenser, the fountain drink dispensers where you can pick the different flavors? Where you can pick
those are pretty common now.
Lemon cherry Sprite or something like that, or like that's pretty cool.
I'll spend
a lot of different flavors. You can probably see those 30 minutes there. Any Subway.
You spend like 30 minutes there just like mixing drinks, like
trying
you're
to pick,
a mixologist.
It's usually like free refill too, right? Like, you gotta have, I want the cherry blueberry Coca-Cola.
I don't think it's free refill anymore. One guy, I was at the movies one time and he gave me such a hard time about getting a free refill. And I was like thirsty, so I went and like bought another one.
Yeah. Robbie, what's your go-to McDonald's order?
Well, I haven't had McDonald's in a very long time, but if I were to go now, I would probably get...
Right, because you're a perfect image of health, right, Robbie?
Perfect image of health. I'll eat everything else but McDonald's. But honestly, I'll tell you right now what I would get. 100% double cheeseburger, large fries, because you're right, the fries are a must, man. Like, the salt is terrible for you, but goddamn, it's good.
Yeah.
And regular size Oreo McFlurry every time.
Yeah.
Oreo McFlurry.
The Oreo McFlurry is when you're feeling extra fancy, eh?
Wait, you're getting the cheeseburger and the Oreo McFlurry? What are you doing? Like, isn't it melting during the time you're eating the cheeseburger?
Yeah.
That's
a good question.
Suspicious.
Yeah. True.
Not how fast I eat it, man.
The Oreo McFlurries are not made of actual ice cream. They're some sort of different material that doesn't melt at the same rate, eh?
Yeah, don't get a hot fudge sundae.
Yeah. You definitely don't want to get a hot fudge sundae.
I got one recently. I was so pissed too because it melted in like 2 minutes. I went like from the McDonald's to my girlfriend's house, and it fucking melted.
Yeah.
And it's like soup.
Yeah.
And it was shit.
I gotta say, my go-to McDonald's order, although I literally probably only had McDonald's maybe twice in the past like 3 years or something like that. But when I do go to McDonald's, I get the chicken McNuggets. How did none of you guys bring up the 20-piece chicken McNuggets? You got to get the 20-piece chicken McNuggets. You got to get the large fries. And then if you are feeling fancy, then you go for the McFlurry.
I've actually been making my own chicken fingers at where I am now. Just like
no way,
man. They're super easy to make.
You can make your own chicken fingers? Are they good?
You buy them frozen, then you microwave them.
Oh jeez!
Oh, you microwave?
That's not even sound.
You microwave frozen chicken fingers. Put them in the oven, Robbie.
Put them in the oven. You put them in the oven is what I meant to say.
No,
I'm not doing everything else.
Dude,
he's got no patience. He wants the soggy chicken fingers.
Exactly.
If you
do you guys want
microwave
the tip for the McFlurries? If you get them with the Oreo, always send it back, because what they do is they put the Oreos at the top, and that's it. Once you get to the top, it's all ice cream.
That's the same thing with cinema popcorn. Literally, the last time I went to the cinemas, although we can't go to the cinemas right now, I literally I asked the person, "Hey, can I get the butter layered?" And then like she knew what to do right away, and I was like, "Is this like a common ask at the theater?" She's like, "Yeah, we get this all the time." Because they only pump like 20 pumps of butter on the top.
And it's all wet.
It's all wet on the top, and it's not mixed in. Once you get like the top like 1 inch off of the popcorn, there's no more butter on it. So I asked her to layer it, and she did it good. It took like 10 minutes for her to do it, but
it's different though when you go to DQ as opposed to McFlurry. They have that machine that like mixes it all in. They like stick it and it like
Dairy Queen,
mixes it all.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I had to choose between McDonald's and Dairy Queen, I would always go Dairy Queen. Their Blizzards, always.
Well, Dairy 100%. Queen specializes still in ice cream. Like you'd think that a place that like just makes ice cream, although they do make other stuff now. But
is the other stuff sus though? Like,
would you get like a burger from
Dairy Queen?
I've never once ordered a burger from Dairy Queen.
I saw the commercials. I saw the commercials like advertising. Come over to Dairy Queen and buy our burger and fries combo for $5.99. Who's gonna do that?
I've never once ordered anything except ice cream from Dairy Queen.
Yeah,
and it will never happen.
Imagine it's the best.
I'm not going to Dairy Queen for a burger.
Imagine they just have like the best burger and fries at Dairy Queen.
I would be very, very impressed if they did. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we covered the Super Bowl. We're both picking Tom Brady. We're crossing our fingers. I know Tom Brady's a little bit of an underdog right now for the Super Bowl pick, but we're going with him. We're riding with the GOAT here, and hopefully let's go Tampa Bay Buccaneers come Sunday. But mainly we'll be enjoying ourselves either way because we'll be snacking down on some nachos. And what about chicken wings? Nobody brought up chicken wings for the Super Bowl snack.
I love chicken wings for sure. I just think nachos are the first choice for Super Bowl.
It's a little bit of work, eh? Yeah. On the chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
The bomb covered chicken wings.
the amount you gotta.
Okay.
I need redemption on that last one because the bomb murked me so badly. If you guys have watched that video,
I think we're even because you handled the Scotch bonnet a lot better than I did. So I think we're 1 for 1 right now.
It's all about the preparation. You got to make sure to coat your stomach ahead of time and the after too. You got to take care of yourself after you're done eating these spicy foods because
you're gonna hurt yourself.
You're gonna hurt yourself. That's just how it goes. Okay, so we covered Super Bowl. The next topic that we wanted to cover is Glory 77, this kickboxing event that happened over the weekend. Actually, when you look at it, a really stacked kickboxing card, a really stacked Glory card. There were like 6 championship belts like on the line in one event, right? But there's not a lot of buzz about it, right? Like there just wasn't a lot of buzz going into that past weekend. Now, we talked a little bit about this ahead of time, but I'm curious to get your full opinion on like what's going on with like what happened in the actual card. Like, did you enjoy the card itself? And then why do you think people are not really into that?
Well, first and foremost, the card was absolutely amazing. Like you said, it was stacked. A lot of championship fights, a lot of great fighters. Tiffany Time Bomb Van Soest fought, and she actually fought and defeated Alex Pereira's sister in a pretty dominant fashion. So that was amazing. Multiple champions, Cedric Doumbé and Grunhart, they fought, and it was a knockout for
That Doumbé. Was a crazy fight. The Grunhart versus Doumbé fight, that one was like the knockout was crazy. There's a little bit of controversy though, because Grunhart went like flying out of the ring, right, and hurt his back. Yeah.
They looked like he hurt his back, but then Doumbé was like, I think he was faking it. So who's to know for sure? It looked like a nasty fall. I was like, oh shit, that really just happened.
Yeah,
that was absolutely nuts. It was definitely a crazy event. On top of that, you also had your boy. If you go back to a previous episode we did, we were asked actually by my brother if we thought anyone else from outside the UFC could go in and take the division. You actually picked Alex Pereira to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And he fought in the card same as his sister, and he actually beat the current 205-pound champion. And as we know, Alex Pereira is already the middleweight, the 185-pound champion. So he became the first person in Glory Kickboxing to have 2 belts at one time, basically becoming the McGregor of Glory Kickboxing. And it was a great fight. Like, it was back and forth. It was a split decision win for him. Yeah. But it was a really good fight between both guys. I'm glad to see that at least my kickboxing picks are showing up nicely. Yeah. Well, like you said earlier too, like the guy has 2 wins over the current champion Izzy Adesanya of the UFC, right? He beat the guy twice. Yeah. He's no joke. In a striking contest, which is what Izzy does. Absolutely. Right. I don't know about his jiu-jitsu or wrestling, but if he gets better at them, I think he could be amazing in the UFC if he so chose to be. Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah. On top of that, there was also the heavyweight tournaments where our boy Rico Verhoeven, if you guys don't know who that is, look him up. He's a heavyweight champion. His belt wasn't on the line because it was a tournament, but he still did it just to cement his legacy, and he won the whole thing. This guy's built like an absolute tank. He's a tall guy, really well built. His belt was on the line twice, right? He had to win 2 fights. He had to win 2 fights in that one night, yeah. Mm-hmm. You don't see that in MMA these days a lot. Especially for heavyweight. Like, that's tough. Heavy hitters, yeah. Yeah. It was crazy. He's good. Mm-hmm. He's like he moves like he should be fighting at welterweights, but he's just that big and just an absolute monster in there. His striking is so good. His new nickname is literally just the king of kickboxing. That's his name. Yeah. That's his name now. It's crazy. Obviously, like, stacked card, right? Like you're talking about these big names. People like Jameson doesn't know who these guys are. He's never heard of any of these guys. Like your average Joe Blow doesn't know who any of these guys that you mentioned. They don't know a single name. Maybe Rico Verhoeven. He might be probably the most well known outside of. One sounded like a Power Ranger, like ticking time bomb. Like it sounds like a villain bomb or something. Ticking time bomb, yeah. She's gotten popular too. But you're absolutely right, because for whatever reason, I think with how MMA is taking off so hard, like just a single style of sport or a single style of combat just isn't getting the popularity that it needs. Yeah. And it's also not on at the prime times. It used to be on it's not easy to watch either. TV. Like you never know where to watch it, how to watch it. I think that, like, for me, and I'll tell you, like, what I think is why they're not as popular as they can be, and there's a couple of reasons. So first of all, availability. Like, how do we watch this? It's not on like ESPN, or it's not on TSN, it's not on like Fox or one of these big channels, right? It's not even on TV anymore. You got to stream YouTube? It or buy the pay-per-view. Is it on YouTube? Is it on YouTube? On I think like their free cards are on YouTube, right? You guys got to get with the times, man. Put some like highlights on YouTube or something. Like. I think that they have started doing that. They're starting to market with like some of their highlights on their own page, right? On their Glory Kickboxing page on YouTube. But some of the things that I'd like to see, and some of the things that the UFC does so well, is that they sort of do like these like highlights of their fighters, right? To let you get to know a little bit more about them. Because you want to be invested in specific fighters and specific fights. One reason why I was so interested in that Cedric Doumbé versus Myrtle Grunhart fight is because they actually did, like, if you follow Glory Kickboxing, and you have to actually watch the video, so there's a couple of layers in between, like, people that don't know what your product is to actually getting them to watch like one of your videos. But the video that they did highlighting like the feud between Grunhart and Doumbé was actually like really good if you watched it. So I'd like to see some more things that really highlight individual like people to make you like individual fighters and get you invested in watching their next fight, for example, or how they did it and they sort of highlighted the actual feud between the two guys. So not just let's look at what this person's all about, let's look at what this person's all about, but they actually, what's causing this feud between these two guys? And it was interesting to watch. But I found that most of the time they don't have that
that sort of that style of marketing, right? They don't market really. Right now they're marketed as sort of like the technical striking kickboxing, right? Like very technical.
Yeah. I think they're marketing more towards like the diehard fans who do it as well, because like for guys like us, it's a lot of fun to watch and we love it. But you're right, the marketing isn't there. It's also on, like they host it. I think it's bigger over in the Netherlands. That's where this event was hosted.
Yes.
So it was on at 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
right? Not everyone's.
This shit is like the OnlyFans of fighting, dude.
Yeah,
you're
kind
gonna
of is.
spend like, how much is it per pay-per-view event?
I think this pay-per-view was $25.
$25,
like that,
dude,
yeah.
to watch. Like,
It was a
there's
big-
so much
it's a
free
big
media
card.
though.
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. The OnlyFans, dude. If you're into that sort of shit, you're gonna pay for that. But any random person is like not gonna pay $25. I'll wait. They should put it up 6 months, even 6 months, 3 months afterwards. Put it on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give it like 4 seconds of like a glance. But like, dude, they're like,
They need to
who's
somehow
watching this shit.
They need to touch into like the virality of videos, right? And that's something that we're trying to do too a little bit with our channel. Like it's tough to gain viewers, right?
Absolutely.
We'll even say right now, please like and subscribe if you're still watching the video. That would help us out a lot. But what I would like to say is, yeah, it's hard for them to gain any sort of traction, right? One thing that I also think that differentiates between the two sports of MMA versus kickboxing, and even like Muay Thai, for example, but Muay Thai is not really popular in North America either, and kickboxing is sort of more popular in Europe, not so much in North America, is the glove style. You notice that the glove style is, I think it's a big difference maker, right? Because people want to see, number one, people get hit. Like the whole point is like to get the offense. People want to see the offense. People aren't so much interested, like the casual viewer, not so much interested in the defensive part of fighting in general, right? So if having those bigger gloves allows you to block a lot more strikes and defend yourself a whole lot better, correct?
You're absolutely right.
So there's not as many
100%.
shots being landed, right?
Yep. And it comes down to like the how well known the organization is as well, because I'll put it into perspective for you. Okay, so let's talk about, for example, let's go back to Rico Verhoeven and who he is, right? He is the heavyweight champion. He hasn't lost in Glory in the last like 7 or 8 years. On his Instagram following is only 1.6 million, right? And no, that's a lot. That's a lot. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But most guys in the UFC who aren't championship level have more followers than he does, because MMA is just a more popular sport right now, right? And it comes down to the UFC being more marketable than Glory Kickboxing. Glory almost went bankrupt a couple of years back, right? Because of this very reason, right? And it's about how they market their people. Because like we said, we know who Rico is. We know how good he is, right? But why does a guy like, we'll go back to the last MMA fight with Dustin Poirier, right? He's a great fighter, very well known, not a champion currently. He has twice as many followers as Rico Verhoeven, who hasn't lost in 7 years.
Yeah, but he did just fight Conor McGregor, right?
Absolutely, right? Yeah. Absolutely. And again, but that comes down to how UFC marketed Conor McGregor to get him that big, right? And then he makes other guys even bigger as well. And Glory is just not doing that, and they don't really have a superstar. I think they need to get like a really amazing person in Glory.
Like a big personality, right? Like someone who's like larger than life personality.
What they need to do is they take it like you guys know, like Mortal Kombat or like Dead or Alive. Like you go to like a pirate ship or something. You bring all the fighters to the pirate ship and you make them fight on the pirate ship, and then you go to like a favela. Or you go to like a mountain
that would actually be really cool.
Or like a Japanese temple.
It'd be cool.
No, it's legal.
Thing is that actually there's one promotion out there called Karate Combat that's doing something similar to that. They're bringing them to like exotic locations to have their fights. People still aren't like super interested. Maybe it's because it's like karate still, like and the rules set is a little bit.
You gotta have them dress up like E Honda and or like
maybe like in regular clothing.
Costumes,
yeah,
dude.
like that would be kind of sick. Like having like maybe different like clothing for the people fighting and like. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, these are some good ideas, though.
Some Blanca.
Making it sort of like more like almost like a video game or like a
real life Street Fighter, but
action movie.
It's not staged. It'll be not staged, but it's like real life. Mortal Kombat.
That'd be cool. It'd be really cool. The league that's doing a good job of this is like one championship, because they're doing kickboxing rules with MMA gloves, and that's why it's getting a lot of popularity for sure.
Those are so cool. Like those fights, the Muay Thai fights with the MMA gloves. Man, sign me up. Like I'd like to watch that on a grander scale. I'd like to see more talent. Like if we had like the best athletes go into that, like Muay Thai with MMA gloves, you'd have everybody watching that. Like no, you can't say no to that.
I think it would blow up for sure. Yeah, because a lot of people don't like the grappling aspect.
Or like the old school, like the hand wraps there, like the rope wraps.
Oh, like the Borderland style. That was crazy.
Oh, that would be crazy. Shit. People aren't gonna do that though. That's like you're gonna deform your face too much.
That's Jean-Claude Van Damme's kickboxer movies.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so just to sum up, like if you haven't seen Glory 77 and you're maybe getting a little bit interested in that, feel free to go check that out. Stay tuned with Glory. Like go follow their YouTube page if you are interested in kickboxing at all, or Muay Thai or MMA, or maybe you're thinking about getting into kickboxing. Hopefully they'll start doing a better job of marketing, because I actually did get invested. I'm followed to the Glory Kickboxing page, but I'm going to be honest, I don't watch all of their videos because they're not drawing me in, right? But like something like that feud between Doumbé and Grunhart's like, oh, this is interesting. I watch it. And they're going back and forth. Like they're having like a heated like rivalry debate. You know what I mean? And that was really interesting. So I had to go check that fight out. And then the fight was amazing too.
Yeah, the fight was great. But I think one of the issues you have with that is like if you watch the interviews, some of these guys, their English isn't necessarily the best.
That's true.
Right? So when they're trying to be like Conor McGregor, you know, there's a bit of a language barrier, which might make them a little bit hard to hype themselves up a little bit.
And like the traditional kickboxing like type of guy is not really like the sort of like the shit talker. Like they're more of like the go out and do it type of guy, right?
Yeah.
So that's I mean obviously limiting like their marketing capabilities, right, or abilities. Yeah.
I think the same can be said about Lion Fight, which is like a Muay Thai specific league in North America.
Is that still going on, Lion Fight?
Lion Fight's still happening, actually. We got some Canadians fighting.
Another problem, like how do we watch it?
I have no idea.
Right?
That's the thing, I have no idea.
Like that's the biggest issue. Like you have to make it easy for people to watch it, or else we won't watch it.
Yeah.
Right? That's why like even illegal streaming is like such a big thing, right? When people are 100%. Trying to like watch even UFC pay-per-views, right? Or any sort of pay-per-view, or even just like a regular TV show. Right? If people don't have easy access to watch the TV show, that's why people like Netflix. Netflix is on your phone. Netflix is on your computer. Mm-hmm. Right? You can watch it on your TV. Any way you want to watch it, you can watch it that way on Netflix, right?
Absolutely.
TV shows, like even sporting events. Like if I want to watch the basketball game and I don't have this basketball channel, then I can't watch that. I can't watch it. Right? So people are going to stream it. You have to make it easy for people to watch, or else they won't watch. Simple as that.
And you also have to tell them exactly like when it is and how to watch it too, because like I've trained with Candice Mitchell, who's fighting. She's from Canada. She's from Toronto. Mm-hmm. Fighting in Lion Fight this month. I don't remember when it is, what day it is, what time it is, how to watch it. Whereas nowadays, even the UFC is like paying for radio ads. Like you're driving, you hear about it, right? Like it's just that higher level of marketing. Like I said out to you.
Yeah. Well, the UFC I think has like the second most followings out of any sports league other than the NBA. I think it's NBA and then
the fastest
UFC.
Growing sport in the world right now. 100%.
But speaking of things that are easy to watch, Robbie, if you like segues, we're gonna go to Netflix. I was talking about Netflix. We want to talk a little bit about Alice in Borderland. Now I know, Robbie, you haven't started watching it. You've heard a little bit about it. People have been telling you to watch it.
Yeah, I'm supposed to watch it.
And I've been a little bit reluctant to watch it myself. When getting into a new show, it's very hard for me to actually like start watching a new show. It's always like, oh, do I want to invest this amount of time to like starting on a show? But started watching it, and it is quite good, quite entertaining.
Do I want to invest the time to watch a new show or just watch National Treasure for the 70th time?
But
that's a thing, right? It's like
yeah, exactly. Yeah, am I gonna like just scroll through YouTube or watch something that I've already seen that I know I like, or do I test the waters and maybe waste some time trying to find a new show? But this show is actually really good. So like we mentioned, it's in Japanese. So we would highly recommend, if you're watching on Netflix, to watch it without the dubbing. Watch it subtitled, because the dubbing is not that great.
Yeah, dubbing's bad. I think dubbing doesn't work when it's not animated. If it's animated, then it's like it doesn't, like, just watch it in English.
If it's well done, like the dubbing has to be well done, right?
No, it's the movement of the
lips.
The lips is just, it throws you off so much.
Mm-hmm.
I've never watched a good dub.
And take it from an anime watcher. Like, I watch a lot of anime subtitle stuff, and it's true. You can watch some of it dubbed for sure. I prefer subtitle anyway. But when you watch like a live action show,
yeah. So let's get into a little bit of what Alice in Borderland is about, with trying not to spoil. If you're one of those people that don't even want to know what the show is about, then switch the channel, mute us right now. But we'll tell you a little bit about what the show is, so you can hopefully get hooked into it and maybe start watching it. Like I said, I've just finished watching episode 4. So what happens is, it's 3 guys and they're friends. They're sort of like social rejects a little bit. And one of them really likes video games. He's like really into video games. What happens is, these guys are fooling around, and all of a sudden, everyone's gone. Everyone's gone in all of like Japan. Like, they're all like gone, right? These guys go out of the washroom and they discover that everyone's gone. They're like, what's going on here, right? And all of a sudden, I don't want to get like too much in detail, but like things starts to become a quite intense thriller. Like, there's life risking. It's sort of like escape room mixed with Saw mixed with like 52 card pickup.
52.
Interesting way to describe it.
The card stuff. Like, I don't see how it's like.
I'll go a little bit more in detail just in case you're on the fence.
It's a battle royale type.
It's like battle royale, yeah, like Hunger Games, like
if you play Fortnite.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like
Call of Duty Warzone.
So there's combat scenes. Like, is there good combat scenes in the show?
Oh, it's definitely rated R. Like, it gets pretty intense. Yeah. People die quite frequently in this show.
All right, I'll have to check it out, because you're not the first person to tell me to watch it. Yeah. But like you said, it's just like, do I want to try and waste my time, or do I want to go to like the evil is better than the evil you don't sometimes. Yeah. That's why I have to.
Well, now you have an official seal of approval. You have your show tester right here. I've tested it, and it is quite good. I'm highly vouching for it. I highly recommend that you start watching it.
I think if at the end you're like, oh, when does season 2 come out? Then you're like, that's a good show, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I need, like, when can I watch the next part?
Mm-hmm. It's a very addictive show too. Like, after you watch the first episode, you're gonna want to watch the next episode, and you're gonna want to watch the next episode.
You like, watch like 4 episodes.
I motored through 4. Like, I never watch more than 1 episode in a row. I watched 4 episodes in a row.
How long are they?
They're like 45 minutes.
Okay.
Like full length. Like, I stayed up like past when I would usually go to sleep too. I was like, I had to like watch the next episode, and I even wanted to watch the next episode, but I was like, okay, it's like way too late now. I got to go to sleep.
Yeah, you got to force yourself to go back to bed.
So yeah, like it's highly addictive. It's a good show.
It's a binge.
On that note, though, on a very similar thing, did you guys watch The Witcher on Netflix?
Oh, so bad.
I got
so terrible.
Yes,
really?
I saw the first episode.
It's so bad.
I can't get into that.
It's so
really
done.
It's so good. They're making season 2. It's coming out.
Yeah,
that's too bad.
My dad was a big fan of the Witcher show. Jameson played the Witcher games.
Yeah,
I know that.
I like the Witcher game. The full disclosure, didn't finish it because it's too long. Just too long.
But The Witcher show, I actually liked Henry Cavill as The Witcher. Like he seemed to be doing a good job. He seemed to act very well in the actual show, but
they spent some issues. The whole budget on the first scene, and then everything else was like so low budget. Yeah. And then the guy who's singing the pop song is like, get out of here.
So here's some of my issues. Number one, it gets too into like fairies and like fantastical like fairy world. There's like some sort of like magician world or fairy world or something like that like these fairies like walk through a portal or something like that. As soon as I saw that, I could not get into it. I want The Witcher to focus on The Witcher. I don't want all these other like Game of Thrones plots like happening at the same time where they're trying to like spin their webs and stuff. I want The Witcher to go kill some monsters. That's what I want to see. And he does that, but it's like 1/10 of the show.
The other part of it is like, but you got to follow along with the story, because it actually goes like sometimes back in time, forward in time. It's telling you different parts of the story at different times, and it's like these characters are like not aging. They're like, it's like lasting for like 100 years, or they haven't aged. I liked it because I had to think about it. I was like, oh my god, wait, how long is this happening for? Yeah, that's why it like caught my attention. And when you piece it all together, it just makes sense in that moment. And I was like, it blew my mind. So I thought that was really good. And the way you were talking about Alice in Borderland, it sounded like you would enjoy The Witcher. So I was surprised that you guys didn't enjoy The Witcher.
Another thing about The Witcher is their set decoration. Like, they'd be in a city, and it would just be like a flat wall of like houses that I just did not believe that those were full-blown houses. It was literally just like a flat wall, almost looked like painted houses on like a Bristol board.
Well, maybe they'll get a higher budget for season 2.
They should just change the story, dude. The best part of The Witcher is like when he goes and there's a mystery like like monster that he's got to track and stuff, like he's Batman, and then he like finds their lair and then like has like, I don't know, he either like kills them or like lets them go and stuff. They should have just made it each episode is just like a new thing. And like a little bit of they focused 90% of the other stories when they should have went 90% individual episodic stories, and then put like 10% little like overarching development of the whole like series stories. Like, give me more entertainment per episode and less of like this like who really cares like story. The first episode with that girl like running away from what was up with the girl's cheek too? Like, like she had like something going on with her cheek.
Oh, she was deformed, but she becomes really hot later on. Spoiler alert.
It's so unnecessary. Like, it's like, why?
Robbie did his homework.
Yeah, I actually watched the entire season. It was good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Any other sort of like entertainment recommendations? Like, people are always struggling to find shows or movies to watch.
Watch Sweet Home. Sweet Home is Sweet like Home? I'd say that's like the other kind of Alice in Borderland. Not particularly, but they came out at the same time. One's Korean, Sweet Home's Korean, and it's like kind of life or deathy. Yeah, there's monsters in there and stuff.
I would suggest, I watched recently, if anyone has Amazon Prime, if you're sort of like more of like a movie buff and you're really like a deep thinker, I would say try out The Lighthouse. You definitely have to be you definitely want to be a little bit more of a deep thinker if you're going to watch that. If you're just sort of like in for like an action movie or like you're in for the visuals, like in terms of like who's shooting who or which car is driving faster, The Lighthouse is not for you. But if you're in for
a festival movie,
if you're in for like a psychological, like deep thinking movie, The Lighthouse, you'll definitely enjoy that.
I've heard a lot of good things on Amazon about The Boys. I haven't watched it yet, but if you're into superheroes, watch The Boys.
You haven't started watching The Boys season 1?
I haven't started it yet.
No, me neither. I've heard about it too.
Yeah, I've got a friend who's in the show a couple times.
You know what it is? Is that nobody made an episode about how good it is. Nobody made a podcast episode telling us how good it is.
I saw
it's that fear of starting a new show. I don't want to start a new show and maybe not like it. You know what I mean?
I saw Dad watching it. It looks like the Value Village Watchmen. That's my opinion.
The low budget Watchmen.
If you're into that stuff, then definitely go on Netflix and watch The Umbrella Academy. It's got 2 seasons out now, and making
that's
a third.
The Dollarama Watchmen.
Exactly. You're going to Dollarama style. You gotta go cheaper then. But it gets addictive as well.
Yeah. Okay, I think that just about does it for today's episode. We covered a lot of different topics.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys like this. I mean, we do different sort of formats from time to time. Like, this is a format obviously where we're still virtual obviously, but we're covering a lot of different topics as opposed to one topic. Yeah, but hopefully you guys enjoyed today's topics and enjoyed our conversation. If you guys have any recommendations for shows that we should watch, definitely let us know, because we're always looking for good shows or good movies to watch. So yeah, definitely, if you think that maybe we haven't seen it, give us a shout. Let us know. Also, we're curious to see who you think is going to win this weekend's Super Bowl. Like, I mean, we're going with the underdog here. We're going with Tom Brady. And I know there's probably a whole bunch of like football experts that are probably saying, oh, these guys don't know shit about football. Of course, Patrick Mahomes is the best. They're going to destroy the Buccaneers. But we're kind of, I mean, we already mentioned it ourselves. We're kind of in it for the beer and the nachos anyways. So
we don't know shit about football, so
we're kind of in it for the hype too.
Right.
Like, Tom Brady winning a 7th Super Bowl would be like, that's tremendous. You know what I mean? Like,
that's next level.
We like
43 years old.
Yeah, we like to see athletic excellence, right? Whatever the sport is, if somebody's doing something that the other athletes are not doing, like something exceptional, like, count me in. I want to watch that. Right?
Yeah.
Does that go for esports as well?
Esports too. If you're like doing something extremely exceptional, like, I'll watch it. Anything exceptional. It doesn't even have to be sport related, right? If you're like the best chair stacker in the world, I'd like to see how many chairs you can stack. I don't know why I came up with chair stacking.
Go to your community church and you'll see.
It's like a carnival game.
Competition.
Also, Glory 77, we mentioned that just to wrap things up. Give Glory Kickboxing a follow on YouTube. Go check out their stuff. Maybe you'll get invested in some of these fights like we have been. And then Allison Borderland, definitely highly recommend. Check that out. At least so far. I'm on episode 4. Don't get at me and say, oh, it falls off a hill after episode 4, because I'm just telling you what I've seen so far. It's so far so great.
How many are there episodes?
I think there's 10 episodes, something like that.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah. For the first season, yeah, it's got a very high budget from what it looks like. It's got like a really great budget. Everything looks like cinematic quality to me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's just
one final note though.
Yeah.
If you guys are looking for something to turn your brain off, start a new show, 3 seasons are out now, or 3 parts, from the makers of The Simpsons on Netflix, called Disenchantment. It's a cartoon. It's absolutely hilarious. If you want to turn your brain off and watch something stupid, Disenchantment, 100%.
I've seen it on Netflix too, but again, one of those that I haven't jumped into.
The Simpsons or Futurama, or did the same guy?
Same guy, isn't it?
Yeah. Matt Groening.
Yeah. So if you want to turn your brain off, go watch Disenchantment. If you want to turn your brain on, check out The Lighthouse, like we said. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Once again, please hit the subscribe button. It helps us out more than you know. And thanks for watching. I'm Jackson.
I'm Robbie. Thanks, guys.
Peace. Till next time.
Peace out.